We do not know the precise contours of what this transformation will look like.
Well, our next guest says that when it comes to education, you shouldn't fear AI. He recently wrote an op-ed in Fortune on why AI will never replace a great teacher. Here now on set with us is the author of that piece. Philip Moyer is the president and CEO of McGraw Hill. It's great to see you.
Great to see you as well.
Recent IPO as well.
Yes, absolutely, last year.
You'd think kind of not the time for a textbook company to, be coming into the space when everyone's talking about how much learning and education and knowledge is going to change. Is it going to change?
Education will change. We're at a seminal moment in education. You and I were talking about the fact that I think analytics has come to a lot of industries, and it's coming to education. Because I think teachers and parents are skeptical. We have more tools than we've ever had. We have more screen time than we've ever had, and we're not getting the results.
The outcomes are terrible.
People are looking for ROI in a college degree, and they're looking for outcomes in literacy and math.
You're saying that despite all of these tools, you don't think we're on the verge? Because I do worry a little bit the teacher's going to turn into like a Chromebook administrator, right? Where they go around kind of like you experience at the doctor's office.
They're pulling them out of classes, I think, aren't they?
They're starting to, but I mean, only
they should. They're banning
places.
phones, which is a start.
Yeah.
Right?
Screens are coming out of classrooms, and the science is there. No one wants a teacher to be replaced by AI. The parents don't, the students don't when you talk to them, and the science says you shouldn't. As a matter of fact, literacy, one of the most important areas, and quite frankly, where we've fallen behind, 87% of our states have fallen behind in this area. Screens are not solving it. We're just releasing a new technology or new curriculum for literacy, and we only allow 20 minutes of screen time per week in younger grades. As you get more self-regulation, it can help, but books are here to stay, print is here, and teachers are more important than ever.
Yeah,
you're just saying to Kelly, by the way. I mean, that's right.
Well, the weird
thing
is,
your thing.
Because I don't think. Look, I didn't know this was a thing that kids were learning on Chromebooks. I'm not sure you can learn on a Chromebook. But the
during
problem
COVID,
is, during COVID, it was full on, of course.
No,
but COVID's over now.
Yeah, but. Is it over?
I think COVID
is COVID over? I don't think so, because my friend was a middle school principal in a blue-collar area of New Jersey, and he told me during COVID, 70% of kids did not log on. Yeah. They simply vanished.
Right.
And there's nothing they could do. He had no power to check on them or do anything for years. He would have somebody log in the last day and be like, I'm here. They're 13 years old. He had ninth graders that could barely read when they went up to high school. How do we fix that?
I think the problems of education were really accentuated when it came time to be in COVID, when we saw in COVID. Parents were seeing firsthand that students weren't learning. They were seeing what was happening in the classroom. They were seeing the disengagement. They were seeing the screen time wasn't solving the problem. The problem that we have in education is we have so much information to teach, so many teachers, so many students to teach, and so little time. What we actually need is we don't understand who's learning and who's not. And now, as I mentioned, with outcomes, when we're focused on outcomes, we're able to see at a much more granular level who's learning and who's not.
A couple of challenges. And by the way, the Chromebook came about before COVID. This was my district in 2017 declared the Chromebook is the educational instrument of the 21st century. I'm not sure according to who. I think this is an open experiment.
Google.
We're seeing the result probably according to Google. So as the issue is state testing is done on these computers. State testing is done on computers. What do schools want to be good at? They want their students to test well. So if your child is not, that's why the Chromebook usage starts. That's why it starts creeping down to second, first grade, and yes, kindergarten. All because of the state testing requirements. I feel like that has to change. Here's part of the problem going back to paper. Paper's expensive. And all these districts are in budget crises. And so I'm curious, as your company is navigating this as well, textbooks are expensive and they've gone away. Yeah. If you want to bring them back, you have to buy them again for millions of dollars. Paper's gone away. If you want to bring that back, it's millions of dollars, and these districts feel like they don't have it.
We provide a wide variety of choice at McGraw Hill. We're shipping books and paper every single week. We've done it for 137 years. When you have more self-regulation, you can deal with a little bit more screen time. There's an amount of screen time that's appropriate at each level. In third grade, fifth grade, you might need some gamification. When you get into higher ed, we have tools like Sharpen that you get 47% higher grades, in your final exam if you have study aids outside of the classroom. And so we believe in a variety of choices. And economically and at scale, we do this around the world. So it's not like paper and books have gone away. It's when is the appropriate time to use paper versus when is the appropriate time to use screens.
It's not just kids. I know medical has been a big growth opportunity for you, learning at all ages. Talk to us a little bit about how big the opportunity is for people that are not in grade school, that want to learn, whether they're graduate students, professional degrees, or even outside of that. I think learning should be a lifelong endeavor.
Is, and we have this idea, the same way that you think about a health record, the health record that you have throughout your life, we believe in a longitudinal learning record. Let me give you some perspective on size and scale. When you're learning literacy, you're learning about 1,000 concepts. It's hard. When you start learning biology, it's like 4,000 concepts. My son just graduated medical school. He had 54,000 note cards, wow. 54,000 concepts. You have to do that in a sequence. And then increasingly what we're hearing is we want precision education. Those same doctors now, they may need to brush up before they walk in to see a patient. And so when we look at the opportunity, we believe we can serve them, with existing technologies, with paper in younger ages. But when you get into medical school, we believe with agentic technologies and AI, we'll be able to answer questions very quickly for that doctor to give them a refresher right when they need it before they walk into a particular situation. So the opportunity is huge.
It's good to hear from, I mean, because you are the one out there kind of seeing this across so many age groups and industries to know this change that's coming and how people are doing. We didn't even really talk that much about AI because it's bigger than that in many ways. Phil, come back. Really appreciate it. Philip Moyer is CEO and president of McGraw-Hill.
All right, let's get down to Julie Board.